Here we have a tour of the plant room. This is the main plant table. We have a Philodendron Splendid. I started this from a cutting, and it's producing very large leaves. I do have an issue with it produces a lot of extra floral nectaries on the leaf, and someone suggested that I wipe off the leaf once a day with like a wet towel or spray it because the extra floral nectaries are very water soluble. So I'm going to try that, and I do notice that the leaf itself is much less sticky. I do get a little stickiness on the stems, but I'm not worried about the stems. I'm more concerned about on the leaf, because when it's on the leaf, it gets spots. Here we have a Philodendron Serpens. I love it. It's just a beautiful plant. Got very nice fuzzy petioles on it. And then down there, I have a cutting going of a Philodendron Gardenia Dorum. It takes a while for that to get going. I just love this is the leaf that I prop from, and I just love the ribbed texture on the leaves. I have a Philodendron Esmeraldens. This is the second leaf cutting. I cut this back when I bought it, and then I made props out of it, and then so they're coming along. Hopefully this leaf will, when it hardens off, it'll look nicer. And then we have another leaf. This is the narrow form of Philodendron Esmeraldens, narrow form. We have a Heterocraspedon. I got it too close to a light. I moved it, but there is some leaf burn because I got it too close. Bipennifolium, Philodendron Bipennifolium variegated. It's produced some variegated leaves. I mean, the variegation on this one, I would say it's probably maybe medium to low. Some of the leaves are very variegated. And in this particular cutting, hasn't given me much variegation at all. And really nice variegation on a couple of the leaves, earlier leaves. But since then, it's produced mostly green variegation. Moving over here, this is the Bipennifolium variegated cutting that I just potted up recently. Syngonium aurea, which is very beautiful. I just love the aurea variegation, the yellow. This is another plant. We have a Domesticum variegated, and then this is one of my favorite plants. This is the plant that I took a top cut about a year ago, and it did nothing for 6 months. And then I repotted it a couple times and finally found something that I liked, and it's been producing very highly variegated, almost too variegated, this all yellow leaf here, but this is the latest leaf. And then another leaf coming out, and another Domesticum variegated. We have, this is a larger, much larger Domesticum variegated. You can see the leaf coming out is from the cataphyll. It's a cataphyll leaf coming out, so they should be producing very large leaves coming up here shortly. And I think this is the latest leaf. Yeah, this is the latest leaf, and then another leaf coming out. And that looks like it's going to be really variegated. My favorite, all-time favorite plant so far, even though I've only had it a couple months, is the Philodendron Billetii variegated. And then this is the latest leaf. Looks like it's going to have very nice variegation. I would anticipate this lighter lime green to turn yellow. And that was the leaf before it. And then we have another growth leaf coming out. Nice leaf there. And then over here we have Epiprenum, or Monstera, Epiprenum Amplissimum variegated. I always want to say it's Monstera, but no, it's Epiprenum. And then I have a one-leaf cutting. This is another variegated Amplissimum. Then we have a one-leaf cutting with a very large leaf of the Philodendron Billetii variegated. But I'm waiting for it's rooted, and it's probably still developing roots. And hopefully it'll produce a new growth. It had the eyes on it, the cutting that I got. So hopefully that'll do well. So that's everything on the grow table that I can think of. We have some Albo Syngonium, Stanleyania aurea. This is a Bernata Potosi. Another Amplissimum variegated. This is a variegated Burley Marks. Have another Bipinifolium cutting. Have an Esmeraldance Neriform cutting. This leaf is probably going to die off. This is the donor leaf. Variegated Burley Marks. Hopefully it'll give me nice variegation. Monstera Adansonii aurea cutting. Another Bipinifolium cutting. It looks like there's a new leaf coming out on that. A Syngonium aurea cutting. Another Syngonium aurea cutting. Philodendron White Princess. Bipinifolium. Oh no, this is a Domesticum variegated. That's the latest leaf. New leaf coming out. Aurea Syngonium cutting. Another Aurea Syngonium cutting. Stanleyania aurea cutting. Painted Lady. This is a Hoya acuta intervariegated plant. Up here on this shelf, this upper shelf, we have a Patricii cutting, and it's got a new leaf that's coming out. And then a regular Billetii. I'm just going to bring this down to show you. This is the latest leaf, much larger. So it's starting to size up. Another leaf coming out. I just have it growing up a pole. It's beautiful. One of my favorites. And then when I bought the Billetii, there were two Billetiis in there. And then this is another cutting that I've taken off of that. And then over here we have a Philodendron El Guapo, which is also used to be called SP Columbia, and I'm sure people still call it that. Okay, and in here we have a Monstera Thai Constellation. Grab it down. This is the latest leaf, finally fenestrations on it. It's got nice coloring. This is the previous leaf, and then this is the present leaf on it. And it's given me fenestrated leaf, my first fenestrated leaf of, I think, almost any plant I've owned. We have another Painted Lady over here as I work to put down the Monstera Thai Constellation. And I will point out that I have another Thai Constellation here. And this leaf is also fenestrated, the latest leaf. Nice yellow variegation on it. And over here we have a Spiritus Sancti I just got a couple months ago. A couple cuttings of Strawberry Shake, Syngonium albo, and then this is the White Princess that I got from Aroid District. Here, putting out nice coloring. And then this is another White Princess that I've grown from a cutting. Okay, and I've been trying to propagate my Florida Beauties. I have this one propagating in moss, and it's got a new growth. I'm waiting for it to root. It's actually rooting from the new growth and not from the old growth. This is another Florida Beauty cutting I have going. Over here is another Florida Beauty cutting. Probably going to lose the original leaf, but that's okay. These leaves are nice and healthy. I anticipate I'll start beginning some very nice new growth on it. That's another Florida Beauty. Doesn't look like it has a lot of color on it, so hopefully it'll color up. Okay. And over here in this higher humidity tank, we have a Stanleyonia Aria that I'm growing here so I can get some nice aerial roots, which will help me in rooting. Strawberry Shake with a Cataphil leaf coming out from the Cataphil. Have some regular Burley Marks Fantasy. This is another Strawberry Shake. And in this tank I have some props going of my Monstera Obliqua Peru. This is a Frydek. This is giving me mostly white leaves, although this was the original leaf, and then here we have a leaf. This is the latest leaf, and there is some green, so hopefully I'll get more green on it. Strawberry Shake cutting going. More Obliqua Perus. Have a Splendid rooting in moss. Another Obliqua Peru. Another Splendid rooting in moss. I think this is Manjula Pothos. Micans. Another Esmeraldance cutting. Strawberry Shake cutting. This is another Florida Beauty putting out very nice, beautiful variegation on it. Monstera Adansonii Aria cutting. And then we have Micans. Here we have a Strawberry Shake cutting. This is the latest leaf. These leaves are coming out. Leaves are coming out with from the Cataphil. On this one, I am getting browning on some of the leaves. These are in a very high humidity chamber. So again, the Strawberry Shake. Up here, I have Splendid cuttings going. Here's a Splendid cutting going. I have a bunch of Monstera Aria cuttings that are going, that are beautiful as well. I'm doing some more cuttings on my Splendid. And then this is where I keep my Giganteum Blizzard, Philodendron Giganteum Blizzard. I'm starting to get a lot more leaves coming out, and they're getting larger and larger, which is a good sign. These get huge. Okay, and I'm taking a picture of the plant table. I would like to point out that I have a new addition, the Anthurium wendlingeri. I just got this yesterday. Really excited about this. This is my office grow table. I've got a couple cuttings of the Gardenia Dorum. I have another Heterocrospodon. I have a Florida Ghost, which is looking very ghosty. Another Domesticum cutting, not a lot of green. I have a Monstera Adansonii aria. And then I chop this one back and making propagations. This is the Anthurium veitchii wide form. A very nice growing Stanleyiana aria that I love. And then this is a cross between Anthurium besseyi and Forgetii and luxurians. We have a Silver Splash Anthurium. And then over here we have a larger Florida Beauty. This was the third to last leaf. Then the second to last leaf didn't have as much variegation. On it. And then this latest leaf put out, it looks like it's going to have quite a bit of variegation on it. So I'm quite happy with that. And I just want to point out I have some Clarinervium, Anthurium Clarinerviums. So that'll conclude the plant room tour for today.